Horizons Council. It's in charge of the Manawatu-Wanganui region and is known around the country for being the most heavy-handed on farmers. It's been trying to introduce its One Plan, which a Government Commission report has estimated would drop farmers' profits by up to 43%. This has prompted appeals from industry groups such as Federated Farmers, which call it Farmageddon. But that's something farmers have to worry about in future. Right now, they're focused on getting by under the current conditions.
I would say jointly we are scared stiff of them. We're scared stiff that we're going to make a mistake and we're going to end up in those statistics.
Bill Huzzaff was given an abatement notice and told to pay an extra $1,400 when a yearling kicked the cap off an irrigator, which left a patch of effluent sodden ground in the middle of his paddock. He says he wouldn't mind paying the penalty if it wasn't labelled significant non-compliance.
Invariably they are reported in the paper. We're lumped. We're all classified as dirty dairying, and I don't like the idea of contributing to that attack on dairying.
Do you think that farmers are being treated the same as everyone else in terms of polluting?
I'm quite sure that they're not. And we see the district councils and even the city councils seem to be able to get away with things that, well, we would certainly end up in court. Certainly the compliance department seem to be very much anti-dairying in particular, but farming in general.
Horizons Council claims it's fulfilling its duty in protecting the environment by monitoring and limiting the amount of effluent and its substance levels going to land and to waterways. Fair enough. Remember, in Horizons catchment is the Manawatu River, considered one of the dirtiest in the Western world. Taxpayers are contributing $5.2 million to getting it cleaned up, and ratepayers in the dairy industry are forking out the other $25 million. But is Horizons Council as tough on the 7 district councils in the region, which discharge sewage into waterways, as it is on farmers? Or does it have double standards? We tried for months by way of Official Information Act requests to find out, but were met with quotes reaching into the thousands of dollars to be given the information. So we went through Horizons Council Environment Committee agendas ourselves and found some shocking results. There are 44 wastewater treatment plants in the region which discharge treated sewage into waterways. Of these 44, over half of their resource consents are either non-compliant or expired. And these just aren't minor breaches. Excesses of E. coli levels, ammonia, suspended solids, excesses of fecal coliforms. Some resource consents have been expired for more than 10 years. So what about the consequences? If Bill Huzzaff is fined for barely a puddle in the middle of his paddock, what can we reasonably expect to be done to these councils who are polluting waterways with significantly non-compliant sewage? Well, let's take a look at some numbers. In the agendas we looked at, spanning back to 2011, we counted 7 prosecutions against farmers totalling $212,000 in fines, 6 months community work and 355 hours in community service. This is excluding the 42 infringement fines and 24 abatement notices handed to farmers. The records don't include how much they were fined for these infringements. So, how many prosecutions or even infringement notices were given to councils during this period? The answer, according to their records, is none. All we found were 2 abatement notices, and no details of whether any penalties were imposed. So, why were these abatement notices given? One was given to Palmerston North City Council over accusations of killing aquatic life with its non-compliant sewage discharges into the Manawatu River. The other was given to Wanganui District Council for emitting a foul stench from its treatment plant for over a month, causing residents to label their town Ponganui. These incidents certainly seem more severe than Bill Huzzaff's puddle, yet these councils were still only issued abatement notices. On top of this, councils in the region are guilty of sustained offending. It begs the question, what would happen to a farmer if they continuously breached their resource consents in such a way? And what does Horizons Council have to say for itself? Join me tomorrow for part 2 of the story, where I'll interview Horizons Chairman Bruce Gordon. I'm John Watson for the Daily Report.